Absolutely. Well, here we go. We're underway for round two in the winners bracket of the Champions League. It's a little bit like this right now. You win this game, you go into the game that will qualify you for the Champions League Grand Final. And some would argue, Ryan, the most simplest way to get to the Champions League. It's not going to be a simple game, this one, though, is it?
Not at all. Of course, we spoke about winning the games in the winner bracket to reach the finals, but that would be the ideal way to do it. But one of them have to lose, and we can speak about the way that they've got to this stage now. For Tekkz, he was 0-2. 0-2, and he turned it around to 3-2, as we see an attack here from Maestro.
Time red finish from Pele, not going to be causing any sort of problems.
Yes, I was speaking about their route here. Maestro, contrary to Tekkz anyway, a complete reverse. He was 3-0, ended up being 3-2. Tekkz, 0-2, 3-2. So you can say Tekkz is technically on a winning streak.
There's only so many players that can pull off a Swiss turnaround like that, isn't it? I mean, it was still one I remember this to this day for any hardcore FIFA esports fans that might be listening, of Aero back in the playoffs in Amsterdam, went 0-3-4 in 3 minutes to an E-World Cup Grand Final. That's probably the best ever story I've seen in the Swiss rounds. But Tekkz, you always felt like it was going to happen back in February. He had an awful start in qualification in the group stages from home, but then something clicked.
I think for Tekkz here, it's going to be a tough game, regardless of who you play at this stage. But for Tekkz, I would honestly say it could technically play into his hands a little bit.
I hate to say it as well, but unfortunately, we're going to be saying goodbye to a few players in this round here in the Champions League. Players that are now in the loser bracket. If they lose again, unfortunately, that is the end of their tournament here in Sweden. This is the upper side of the bracket, though. Only a handful of players can make it through. Tekkz, obviously, in his beloved Liverpool strip from left to right. Came off the back of an Premier League run not so long ago, where him and his teammate Diogo, who's actually in this tournament, did make it out of the groups, lost in the quarter-finals to Crystal Palace in that tournament. Ball into the box, it's defended well by Kimpembe. Expect to see a lot of that from him and Marquinhos at the back. It seems like those are the two go-to Champions League foot items in these teams.
Yes, they really are. I think you're going to be seeing the regular names, especially in terms of the icon selections. You've got R9 Ronaldo, you've got Pele. The other choice you would say is either Ruud Gullit or perhaps Cruyff or Ronaldinho, as Tekkz is using. But a lot of the Champions League items, well, especially the centre-back ones, they're going to be staples in the sides.
It became a little bit of a talking point with Gravison. The UK players not wanting to touch Gullit and go for Ronaldinho. It seems like that's been a choice that Tekkz has also made here. Yeah,
it's a surprising choice because a lot of players at home wouldn't opt for Ronaldinho. But in a tournament like this, maybe it's effective to do so.
It's a corner to Tekkz in. 21 minutes on the clock for FNATIC Tekkz. On the build-up, looking for another result. It was very ambitious from that far out. Speaking of Ronaldinho, that was his first real involvement in this tie so far. His prime icon moment certainly is justified in these teams.
Yep, he's got a fantastic upgrade. The dribbling, of course, naturally comes with any Ronaldinho foot item, but the added pace, the shot power, and the accuracy he has in his shots, especially if you green time them, which Tekkz tends to do. He's done so in that shot there. Didn't end up going in the back of the net that time, but again, it's just a slight chance. As you said, it's not a favourable chance, but it's good just to get a shot off.
Mane on the build-up does well. Lovely ball back inside. Pele, top of the shoulder. Maestro is off to a brilliant start here in Stockholm. He's come off the back of a strong result as well in round one. I remember you said you had a look at a few of those results,
yes.
Ryan. He did win quite comfortably in round one.
Yeah, the scoreline ended at 6-4, but he's been playing, well, for Maestro anyway, he's been playing fantastically well. And of course, if you weren't aware, he did play FNATIC Diogo in the Swiss bracket to get here. And he won, I believe the score was 8-1. So it was very resounding. So now he's potentially going to be getting another win if he can continue in this fashion up against Tekkz. But again, there's still a long way to go, not just in this leg, but in the tie overall. Nicely
done, reversal has to go Pele, good feet. On the build-up is Tekkz, hunting for that all-important equaliser. Renato Sanchez back to goal. He's on 9! It only lasted 5 minutes. And FNATIC Tekkz, a man with rich history in this tournament, will find his way back into the game. And it all came from Ronaldinho. Out on the far-hand side, little reversal has to go. Fed into Pele, back to Renato Sanchez. Then it's just about simplifying the chance and somehow getting the ball into the feet of R9.
Fantastic goal. It's sort of a vintage FIFA 22 goal, a build-up towards the byline, played across, looking for the extra pass in which he done so. And when you get Tekkz in that situation defensively where he's sort of square on against a defender, it tends to be a goal for Tekkz, and that's what he ended up doing, equalising. I sort of commentator's curse for Maestro. Basically spoke about him potentially winning against FNATIC Tekkz despite there being a long way to go, but for Tekkz there, it's a great way to come back into it straight away.
Just a question on Tekkz in general, Ryan, as a fellow UK FIFA Pro player that I'm sure has had many conversations with Tekkz in past times. It sort of feels like he's been teasing us about Tekkz on LAN and getting back to his best. If he was to qualify for the Champions League here, I sort of feel like it would just give him that extra oomph moving into probably some of the most important times of the FIFA season. 100%.
It's towards the latter stages is where you want to hit your form and get that level of motivation, just to push you that extra distance in order to win the important trophies.
Here's Pele with an awful touch as that one goes out for a goal kick. But as you were saying, Ryan, it's the case for Tekkz. I feel like one big win, he suddenly starts to get that backing again in himself, because let's not forget he had one of the most incredible seasons that I doubt we'll ever see again. What was it, 5 major trophies in a year? Over 500,000 in prizing he's already picked up to his name at under 20 years of age. And naturally, there's a pressure. Whenever you're in a tournament, everybody is expecting you to win. Tournament after tournament, long ball over the top. Cheeky chip, surely R9. Of course he will. It's a brace for Ronaldo Nazario. We said he's got pressure on his shoulders at the moment. That's not showing.
One thing that's going to happen there, but you could say it's sort of naive defending from Maestro, bringing out the defender, not tracking the run, which is something that you have to do on FIFA 22. As soon as a run is triggered, Brandon, you have to be aware that the pass over the top is most often going to be played. So again, I'd say naive defending from Maestro, but a great goal from Tekkz.
Tekkz warned about this match potentially happening when he looked at the bracket. It has happened. Riyad Mahrez on the flip side. What a golden chance this is! What a save from Schmeichel. For a split second, I thought, in all honesty, he was going to put that in his own goal. Added time of just a minute, but I think that's going to do us at the halfway point here. Tekkz leads Maestro by 2-1.
That was close there. I really thought we were going to see an equaliser from Maestro. Sort of a reverse situation, scoring straight away compared to when Tekkz done it to him early on in the game. But funny enough, I spoke to Tekkz just before, and I asked him, why Schmeichel? And he said he saved him. He's the reason he got here. He spoke about the decisive game in Swiss format, saying Schmeichel made incredible saves. And that's another one added to the collection for sure.
Big matches on the way. Those 4 matches will be the qualification matches for the E-Champions League Grand Final, which will take place on the 27th of May here in Stockholm, in the exact same place where we are right now. The difference being there'll be $75,000 on the line and a chance to call yourself the E-Champions League winner for the FIFA 22 season. How good would that sound for any player that's currently in this bracket tournament? Mane on the build-up, brilliantly close control, dribbling. Schmeichel's looking a bit iffy once or twice there, gets a hand on it. That one goes out for a corner again. Maestro whips it into the box, defended well by Marquinhos.
That was a chance there. Potentially, I was looking at the run there from Pele for Tekkz. If you could spring a counter-attack almost instantly, but he opted to keep possession. And that's something that with Tekkz, you associate him with a lot of discipline. If the pass isn't on, he's not going to play a 50-50 situation there. He's going to keep possession, especially being in a winning position. He knows what's at stake here. He knows one slip up and it could potentially lead to a goal being conceded. So he's going to try and opt for those chances like one here potentially.
And seemingly, as it's become clear, no matter the formation, you can get the ball out on these sort of areas off the pitch and work your way down the byline, as Llorente will look to do. With the help of Ronaldinho, a little cheeky finesse inside. It's perfect FIFA, couldn't quite find the finish. That was because Marquinhos was standing in the way. Maestro looking for a quick counter-attack. Needs 2 players there. Just about to get rid of that one. Corner again from Maestro. Played at speed as he looks to try and catch Tekkz off guard. Just back to that point, Ryan, it seems like Tekkz, especially if he can get the ball to Ronaldinho or, I should say, a Sadio Mane of all players, I'm sure will be enjoying getting any Liverpool player onto this pitch. He can work down the byline, he can just introduce a skill move or 2, simplify the chance, and it's all about getting the ball into R9 or Pele's feet.
It really is. It sort of reminds me of old Tekkz in FIFA 19. He builds up a lot on the wings, tries to make you make a mistake, and just utilises the skill moves at the right time there. That one, of course, tackled after the elastico from Ronaldinho, but he builds up very, very well on the wings. He forces you to bring out a fullback or maybe overcommit, play the pass inwards, and the extra pass, as I mentioned earlier, on FIFA 22 is very, very important and efficient to score. And I wouldn't be surprised if some chances open up again similarly to that.
He's always been renowned for his flair. Side to his game has Tekkz, one of the most skillful FIFA players we've ever seen in the last decade. just been good to see players back at LAN. That's been the message that's been echoed by so many. To jump on a plane, to come back to a LAN tournament, it sort of feels like everyone's been buzzing, haven't they, Ryan, to have a chance to compete again. Here's Tekkz, looking to find a way through. It's a coming together at the back. Oh, Kimpembe nearly would have been on his way out of the team for Maestro if he was to mess that one up.
Instant sub, instant. But again, it was almost a mishap there as possession is given away back to Tekkz as he builds up. But you're speaking about being back at LAN events. I, for one, of course, prefer it, and it's been, well, it feels like it's been forever playing tournaments online, and of course being back in person adds to the element of performance. I feel as if some players who are used to it, maybe more so in their element, the likes of Nicholas, you've got Andoni, you've got Tekkz and Maestro, both players who of course have qualified and have done really, really well at events in person. But then on the other side, you've got players that haven't had LAN events. A lot of players, Brandon, you were saying earlier, have qualified for the E-Champions League who haven't had a tournament in person, as the keeper just about gets there ahead of Pele. So again, it's very interesting.
There's only 7 players out of the 32 here in Sweden that have played in an E-Champions League before, whether that be group stage, knockouts or a final. 2 of the players you're looking at right now of the 7. Maestro, 2019, he was 1 game away from booking a ticket to the Champions League final in Madrid. 3 years on from it. I think what's more impressive is that both these 2 are in the conversation still. They're still playing FIFA, they're still grinding the game away, and they're still getting better and better year by year. Tekkz is having so much success down this area of the pitch we must talk about. I'm sure would have wanted R9 to be a bit closer to the goal, as Mahrez unfortunately gets dispossessed. Marcus Llorente out of position, and a massive gap will appear now for Maestro to try and exploit.
It's just speaking about how often Tekkz goes down towards the byline, and you think, of course, defending it, you think, okay, you know what he's going to do, but it's so hard to stop him as he builds up here.
Ronaldinho, look at the fee, look at the dribbling. Ronaldinho back to R9, pick it up again, and put it into the back of the net.
Woo! Brandon.
You're clapping, right?
I've given a clap. That's outstanding. The dribbling from Ronaldinho.
You're applauding it.
Oh, it's unbelievable. The dribbling is fantastic. The extra pass, as I spoke about, to give it back to him, to put it into the corner first time. 3-1 up, deservedly so, and that's a spectacular goal.
We spoke about Ronaldinho being the choice over Ruud Gullit. Look no further why, when he can introduce that element to his game. Said, R9, let's link up very quickly. Pele could look to make it 4-1. Hasn't really got an option. Bundled off the ball by Alex Telles. And 4.5 minutes left. That bright start the Maestro had doesn't look so bright anymore, does it?
This pass was very optimistic. I didn't think that pass was on. I thought, of course, the run was triggered for R9, but he wasn't level or shoulder to shoulder with the defender enough anyway to play that pass and expect him to get it. I think it's needless to give away possession there for Maestro. But again, still a lot to play.
Quick thoughts, first leg, 4 goals. We knew it was going to be an intensive game, this one. What have we got to see from Maestro in the second leg?
I think it's tough. I don't think he has to change anything dramatic. You're playing against Tekkz, you know that you're going to give away a chance. But again, there's still a lot to play for going into the second leg.
Added time of just a minute. Will we get the chance to play the one? Ball goes out of play. That will do us for leg 1 here in round 2 of the winners bracket in the E-Champions League. On the main stage is Tekkz that leads Maestro by 3-1. It was a brilliant start from Maestro, but Tekkz turned the game on its head, and this time round he wants to make sure he is in the E-Champions League Grand Final. We're off for a quick break now. When we return, the second leg comes live from Stockholm, Sweden. We'll see you soon. Israeli talent such as Nomnisat as well in that conversation, and unfortunately that is actually a little bit worse for his teammate. 3-0 Levi David does currently lead now. Give him today with that one. Could be a perfect start for Tekkz. Pele does his best to send Van der Sar packing. Able to do it on that occasion. We'll have a quick word about this one so far. Into the second leg now, Ryan. We saw the first game conclude as a 3-1 scoreline. Remember, for those at home, this game will put you into the qualification game. Round 3 of the winners bracket, the game that will qualify you for the E-Champions League Grand Final. What have we got to see from Maestro other than the obvious of scoring goals if he wants to try and make Tekkz feel uncomfortable and turn this game around?
I think something he could do is right now. If he went for the extra pass there, that was on. Pele was standing there in front of the defender, it was on. But that's something, as you say, we need to see more from with Maestro. He needs to opt for those chances and try and press higher up the pitch. But again, you don't want to leave too many spaces in order for Tekkz to capitalise on, because we've seen how ruthless Tekkz can be going forward.
Absolutely, an attack can be so deadly. Pele into R9, all the time in the world. I was expecting a volley from Ronaldo Nazario there. 11 minutes in, Tekkz on the hump for goal number 4. And a very comfortable 3-goal cushion. Mahrez, back to Walker. Mahrez building again, it's Ronaldinho, he's been the star of the show for Tekkz. In all honesty, Ronaldinho still bringing out that Brazilian flair. It's Samba in the box, it's Ronaldinho still, it's back to R9, clip it, save it, post it all over social media. That will be up there as one of the goals of the day.
Oh, it's dangerous, the dribbling from Ronaldinho, the extra pass across of course, to R9 Ronaldo, but Brandon, that dribbling there.
What do you do? If you're Maestro, what do you do?
You can see the way he was defending. He was scared to dive in because you don't want to give away a penalty. You don't want to make any rash decisions that could potentially cost you. So he sort of sat back and just watched him skill. But you have to, sooner or later, just take a bite, because with Tekkz there, when you give him that much time and room to choose what skill move he wants to do, it's a huge danger zone, and it's most likely going to lead to a chance, and a chance that he converted into a goal. As you said, the 3-goal cushion now, it's going to be a huge uphill battle, and it will be a major upset if Maestro manages to come back. But if there's somebody that can do it, Maestro going forward is spectacular, so he would definitely be backing himself.
The problem I've got, Ryan, I've found on social media that one of these two would qualify for the or both would qualify for the Champions League. Unfortunately, with how the bracket looks, one of them's going down to fight in the loser bracket regardless. At the moment, that looks to be Maestro, who now we know is a very emotional FIFA player, Ryan. He's going to be in his own head at this moment in time. He needs 3 goals against a player of Tekkz's quality. It's going to be really challenging.
It's going to be tough. Regardless of the skill level you have, it's always tough to come back against the likes of Tekkz in a game where you know the stakes are high. If he loses, he knows. Tekkz has reached multiple finals. We spoke earlier about his accolades, the amount of trophies he's won, the finals he's reached, everything. And it's going to be tough. But as I say, if there's somebody that can do it going forward, Maestro will definitely be somebody that can.
One thing that you do know about Tekkz, you do not let him have the opportunity even to start connecting a few different skill moves in the box. When he starts chaining a combination together, you are in serious trouble. It's a difficult one for Maestro, because if you did dive into the tackle there, as you rightly said, you're always at risk of giving away a penalty, aren't you? It's a difficult situation to be in. It's just trying not to allow Tekkz to get into those positions down the byline. As you can see, Ronaldinho again teeing that run forward. He's going to pick up the ball off Pele. Elastico to start with. That's only the starter, I can assure you, of what's to come from him. Picks up the ball again now in this area. This is where he's deadly. Ronaldinho. That time matched up by fellow Brazilian Alex Tekkz. But you can see what's coming every single time. Yep,
you can genuinely see it. And that's what I spoke about earlier. Despite you knowing what's coming, it's really hard to stop. All the attacks are stemming down this right side.
Sanchez pumped into the feet of Llorente, heel to heel, back to goal, it's R9, a little ball roll or two, not good enough to get past Kyle Walker. Chance, Pele, can you put the burners on? Yes he can, this is a golden chance, must finish for Maestro, he knows it, he knows it, he knows it.
That was it. If there's a chance you need to fall your way to somebody like Pele, in on goal, bearing down against the goalkeeper. Of course, he came out. We saw a chip in the first leg from Tekkz. Perhaps he could have gone for that option. It's easy to say from where we are, but again, that was the chance. If he scores that, it gives him a glimmer of hope, but he'll be ruining that. We saw initially from his facial reactions, he isn't happy about that. As Tekkz...
Danger man.
Yep, as Tekkz builds up with, as you said, the danger man.
Renato, again, easy pickings. He's literally doing all he can to dismantle Levante's Maestro. And it's a difficult game. But when you see a Tekkz that's playing like he is at the moment, a strong win in round 1, a stronger win in round 2, he's only conceded a goal. I'm pretty sure he's replicated his round 1 result already. He's one game away from an Champions League final.
I think that's it. Of course, game, in my opinion, game, set and match. We saw how ruthless FIFA esports can be. A chance there, in on goal with Pele, a couple of seconds before, turned into an attack from Tekkz. Of course, built up with Ronaldinho, and played across goal for a finish. Again, Maish will be devastated with that. But again, for Tekkz, he's performing incredibly well. Offensively, this is one of the scariest players to play against. And I played him in the Premier League and I spoke to him afterwards. And defensively, we will speak about how good Tekkz is going forward. Defensively, Tekkz is unbelievable. I think it goes, I wouldn't say under the radar, but because of how good he is going forward in terms of the flair he shows. But defensively and his discipline when defending is, in my opinion, up there as one of the best in the scene.
I mean, he's always good attacker, wasn't he?
Yeah, always.
A great offensive player.
Yeah.
I think he always knew that if there was an area to improve in his game would be defensively. It's an added time of just 1 minute of the halfway point in this second leg, round 2 of the winners bracket here at the Champions League knockout stages, live in Stockholm.
We'll see. You will see. How many worlds would you cross to use the line that's right in front of you? There is no light on the other side, I say. Look straight ahead and you will see. How many worlds would you cross to use the line that's right in front of you? There is no light on the other side, I say. Look straight ahead and you will see. You will see.